I'm very much ashamed that you call this woman a nurse in Ghana.
Back now, this song catching the trend. We are separating the boys from the men. My name is D Cram, 6-star general. Osha Divine Media Ghana. Keep it locked right here. Oko baby cram at lampu.
Asem wohoi empe nipa ene pen ho asem ensem a Rich Hospital PRO Sarah Dankwa edebetu dwa efa ensem a esiye ewo Rich Hospital no ho no abusua asem no akwa koduru Kevin Ekobedu Taylor ne headquarters na reaction ene ensem a odi ahyehye so wo ho no no ano odin meto mebo asem na breaking it down odi ama na emum mesrew say nani day di kan a click the subscribe button so mama na fi click the bell notification icon for latest update Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X baby follow me e wo honom na bibia enye kama video ya wo hwe mesrew so be kire wagen e wo comment section na fi wa share e de ama afoforo abusia be kai a enche bia na me di video bre wa Sarah Dankwa ono na ye PRO e de ma Rich Hospital or they NCB able to about investigation committee reports and the ochrim say committee no crampono aye bias nefa baby no ochrim say omo wo CCTV footage I kire say Raf the follow Ghanaians or ball or painful bi a oyeness assume during sa ensensem no na abusuan sansem we na akwakoduru Kevin Ekobedu Taylor the headquarters na abusuan we just introduction.
Rich Hospital asem we buy. A lot of people have spoken about the ECO, and the minister himself, he's spoken on several occasions. People like us were asking, as somebody by for man came at a point I mean second videos nina and I'm better abusa say Rich Hospital as a regional hospital, do they have a PR department? That was one question I was asking all the time because the circulation and speculative information we were getting from the hospital, no, if the PR department had spoken or had come out orally and through a release, majority of the controversies surrounding what happened at Rich Hospital, no, and Kasa controversy, no, it would have died on the same day. But the more we asked questions about what happened at Rich Hospital, no, we got one guy called Tinkrine, who is a general secretary of Nurses Association in Ghana. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association. He was the one basically playing the role of management PRO. And everybody was asking, what is going on? What is happening? The hospital is a department that can internally assess the situation and speak to Ghanaians. So you could see, say, the PR department was shut down and some certain Tinkrine guy was the one running on TV and radio and basically portraying himself as the PR of Rich Hospital. It was quite interesting. Now, because say, we are professional. That's a Sebio will say, how these things work. Say, we are expecting the media department or the PR department of that facility to release an official statement. And it could point about the White House. When there's an issue in the White House, we wait for the press secretary to speak because he or she is the mouthpiece of the White House. Even before the president speaks on the issue, what happens is the press secretary at the end of the day is able to enlighten Americans about what is going on, what the president might be speaking on, because it is the job of the press secretary to be enlightening and making sure the information that the public needs, even before the president speaks. And it's the same as when you go to the Flagstaff House. Before the president comes out with anything, we get a press secretary, the Jubilee House secretary, who the person in charge of communication, that is Honorable Ofosukwachi, making those statements before even the president speaks on it. And that is how you check when an institution is effectively working. Now, so you questions when you time and incident, amount for some we didn't really know what was really the truth, or we are not able to even pinpoint what is really happening. We never heard anybody from Rage Hospital as the PR speaking for the management or the hospital. Now, the investigative team, when they went to the hospital, they did their best to exhaust every single thing. Whether it was a CCTV, they watched every CCTV video in the hospital. When it comes to a report that was left or report that was written on that day about whatever transpired at the hospital, they looked at every single thing in the hospital. People who were involved in the altercation or assault come from the beginning. The investigative team were able to engage every single person who was mentioned in that act. So you could see that the investigative team, they did a thorough job by exhausting all the avenues that at the end of the day, we will get to the bottom of this Rage Hospital Asema AC. Now, the investigative team, before they went to Rage Hospital to conduct this investigations, the lady nurse who was involved or became the subject of the day, now the PRO or the General Secretary of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association, the Ebeka Chair say she was assaulted. In fact, man a friend Tinkran Ebeka Chair Ghana for say Ralph on now for the motors be 25 moto bia nipa 2 na teso and a lady na oye nurse nipa 8 bowura ho etieti na yase ebu ni nsem echia echim ne nsa. So that was basically the story or impression that was created.
After sa education we and or say oba be bawuram into the matter na asem no one. Yentie no.
Now let's play Obana nurse na asem ni siye no Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery General Secretary on a health minister call nurse near or over 18 years. Nurse near say on in the middle of the action on na ya assaulting no. Let us go and hear what she said. After that, we will play the video of the investigative team committee ejuma mu ye so omo present what they came up to the minister. Then we will address the lady who was on TV and on radio today on the rich issue. I don't want to spoil the whole thing. So let's go listen to Nurse Dina first. Okay, say you assaulting or no?
Yes. So he did this to me, and then when he went out, I don't know where the guys came from. Most of the health workers saw them earlier, so they had free. I didn't see them, and then they from my back to my chest, and then they were just.
Did they push you? Were you pushed or were you doing?
Yes, I was hit. I don't know if it was a fist, a tap. I can't describe them.
Well, what happened to your hand?
Raphael, I don't know, Raph did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist. And I even dodged a couple of the fist. They hit me. But right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder. Some headaches and body pain.
All right, thank you very much.
To add that, he was telling us he will follow us to our homes and beat us. And yes, take one life and.
Oh, you take one life. Actually said that.
Yes.
We are happy to hear that. I think this is a very comfortable situation as an association. As our General Secretary rightly said, we are investigating the matter. We will continue to collaborate with the media and the authorities of the facility.
Right.
And we hope the perpetrators will be brought to book, will be arrested.
So, as somebody see, this is the nurse I near see assaulting. Remember, nurse Nekasano, all Mickey and I say, I'll give you a recap of what happened, Na at Tinkran, no Nzujina Hobi, on an age. So basically, that was the first time they were hearing what actually transpired. Nurse Nekasan say, yeah, nipa bi free the chi from her back. They hit her from the back. And I'll say, a man for be a bono. Na no nim say a tap and I say a fist punch. But omo bono. Osaka say, Raphael. Sorry, what's the guy's name? Raphael, right? No, what's his name? Raphael. Or say, guy no, or a dang, or ena mubusa and say na one son e na ya one sa. Or see, oh, Raphael no ena or de blow se de born in sa or de be born na ama ninsa ehwan. And intina de ade atechire ninsa ebi atechire ne kon. Inti ninsa no na betri no ehwan. Yakasa betri no ehwan a eye socket na one a disconnect it, a jonkolize eyi. And intina yade entuma so maso ne kon. Sene beya a betri no eye a betri na wa ha no ebetumi asiso. If you say ehwan etu afrim. And intina what the eye entuma Ralph. All right, Ralph. Or the entuma atechire ne nsa di bi atechire ne kon sene beya ebeye study. Also akasa na say dislocation there na battery pa na wo eyi ena ne nsa no so ya bom ema kese emu ya ne yama ontumi fa nya hwe enti sa eye record ana say statement we na abayiwa na oye nurse no e kan ye say ye di bedi no hospital ho. Now okay sansem we nyina wie no ene copy minister nim. Before that na eye saatin kran ogina ababa ya we hu no the same thing abayiwa ne kan ye no enua bi na wate video na ewa bontene a eye 1 minute 20 seconds no it was the same video a saatin kran na wahwe. But the thing crime went on TV and radio and insulted the minister. In fact, at a point, threatened journalists who were speaking on the matter. And he went further to make sure, say, as seminar yekano, he made it sound, say, or was some evidence nobody in Ghana has. At a point on TV, a thing crime or a PR or a general secretary, SAR Association, Ghana Registered Nurses Association, at a point, okay, say, omo video evidence bia omo nyan release here or can UTV and that wakatre the management say inside the emergency hall na nkasa no that video they should make it available and that they will put it out for everybody to see. We are still yet to see that video. Enti time a minister setting up the investigative committee no it was good for think crime and the people who are sitting on TV and radio to basically avail themselves and provide all those evidence na ema omwadina TV so ni radio so edi minister natem edi Ghana journalist for atem ka kire say eye nurse no ya bona manka oyewu at a point kra no ye nyina be hu say nurse ni say ya bona ama se bi oni mu ne nsa nyina ye nti okokot akoje okope 7 million Ghana cedis in damages. If you say from tin crime this statement to make you all different radio stations no nipa 50 and a rural hospital or emergency war and tie girl we bu no. Remember time ani ekasa asem we nyina no na Range Hospital, which is a regional hospital, there was a PRO. Still we didn't hear from the department which is in charge of speaking to the public, department that is supposed to relay information to you and I for us to know what actually transpired the day Ralph ended in Namfo Echo Hospital. Still, the PRO department, headed by somebody, had still not issued a statement. The statement that we read was from the Ghana Health Service, which isn't the management of the hospital. Upon all these things going on, there was still a department called the PR department. People were being paid every single day for being PR or being the head of public relations. They carry themselves around. People tell them, Madam, oh, Madam. And maybe they are giving cars. They are riding and taking respect because they are the public relations officers of the Range Hospital, the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Now, investigative committee what they found out because I am very sure the committee in the core hospital, they demanded for everything that will connect Ralph and his friends to what we call assault. Because the reason why Minister takes our committee, was because some people at a certain crime and the other people were saying, a nurse was assaulted. So the investigation was primarily put together because there was an assault and also how people were able to break security to assault a nurse. And see, however way you look at it, it was all going to end up at one thing: how security was breached and how a nurse got assaulted in a facility at the Ridge Hospital. And see, whatever they were doing, whatever investigations they were doing, whoever they called, whatever questions they posed, videos almost share, any reporter it was all geared towards assault and also breach of security of the institution. It's simple. Now, investigative committee ni human we no, and na omoko a year the eco minister nim, and omoko handy over their report, their findings to the minister. This is what they said.
Police post that is found at the premise of the hospital, but situated far away from the emergency, is also of concern. And the system is that anytime they have such altercation, the hospital has to rely on Adabraka Police Command to call for help. And that's exactly what happened in this instance. The last but not the least objective was that the committee also found that the number of staff on duty per shift in the hospital was woefully inadequate. The number of medical officers in the month of August is 1 doctor per shift. That's 3 medical officers per day who are permanently working in emergency, supported by 1 specialist per day. Any other doctors who come there as a team to attend to cases and go away. A total of 7 medical officers and 2 specialists were available on duty for a month of August as emergency room permanent staff. We also found out that, for example, out of 88 nursing staff who routinely work at the emergency department every month, only 54 are currently on duty at posts, with about 34 of them already vacated posts for various reasons. This has brought extreme shortage in the number of nursing staff who also support the emergency medical doctors. Honorable Minister, apart from the 4 main things, there were other findings that we want to bring to your attention. The committee police post that is found at the premise of the hospital, but 2 specialists were available on duty for a month of August as emergency room permanent staff. We also found out that, for example, out of 88 nursing staff who routinely work at the emergency department every month, only 54 are currently on duty at posts, with about 34 of them already vacated posts for various reasons. This has brought extreme shortage in the number of nursing staff who also support the emergency medical doctors. Honorable Minister, apart from the 4 main things, there were other findings that we want to bring to your attention.
So let's stop here. Committee required investigations, there were a lot of things at the end of the day. It actually was part of the reason TRDC hospital was here. And they were briefing the minister on findings. I'm so call hospital who say staff na our hospital no inadequate. Na who said nipa also mo yedwuma ho no. Enya omododo na enya mo no mo yedwuma ho. Nurse for the doctors no esa. It is also video na time around call ho no. You could see say na nurse crampo ni wa omo attended to immediately. Abrante bi ba wa na ne mam ne na national chia na ne na wu. They could not even get nurses to rush to the person because baby want an emergency. See, I can say emergency ward. We don't take anything lightly. Anybody who enters the emergency ward, a life and death. Inti any emergency ward, any ebeka say jinsuesi usonetrasi. Emergency ward, every single thing about emergency ward should be taken as an emergency. They don't underestimate anything that comes to the emergency ward. But you could see, say, there were people there who were still waiting to get the help of nurses. Into investigators require no who say their cause problem ni nyina so ebi ne say ni adequate health personnel so ho. In fact, kasa no say 3 doctors per day. Now, Osha shift na. One specialist per day, and the whole hospital now, no emergency ward no. Only 3 doctors coming to that emergency ward per day. Now, Osaka say out of 88, anka oseka nurses anka also mu ye adwuma ewo hospital no. Emu 54 per ene ye adwuma. Na omu hwe mu no krampo no, emu sa 54 no, 34 no muni ho. Until you could see, say, the hospital itself lacks a lot of medical professionals. And the moment hospital no 34 any post, the moment hospital no lack medical personnel no, the probability say obi baba and nakuma betu nibubefu about the services no are very high. Because when people come to emergency ward, it is because of emergency issues. That is why they are there. And when they wait for some time, no more nya sa their care no sa assistance na, then they start to feel say this is not how it's supposed to be done. Now, I am not justifying anybody here and the actions of anybody here. So I'll call emergency ward. That's the share. It does not mean you have to talk to anybody anyhow. It does not mean you have to go after any nurse anyhow. It does not mean you have to do things that are not right. I'm not going to justify that. But committee in the core, you know, who say, nyoma kika hunu bia ema assembly ko see na ebi no. Now, still, we have not heard from Eyedien. We have not heard from the PRO, public relations officer of that hospital. Still, ye who say, sa hospital no, public relations officer PRO, can be bia management no, and also who de ekoso ankasa no, management no, through their public relations no, they have still not spoken. Yate upon all these things. Now, almost akoso eka investigations the omu no, almost akoso.
Honorable Minister, I must say that I have just a brief summary of what he presented. The exhibit are all attached as a full document for your review and understanding. From his statement copy that is attached to our report, the witness stressed that his distress and frustration was escalated by a nurse who made provocative remarks in the context of emergency, and this triggered his response. He also stated that at no point did he physically assault any medical staff or witness any person from among the bikers assaulting a hospital staff. He also made another assertion that no patient was intentionally filmed or videoed or targeted as his recording, because everything he did was targeted toward the delay, and that he thought the committee and any other person must have that urgent concern to see. And the last submission we've had from his 6-pager report, that he has submitted 4 video exhibits, including a Facebook live video, as evidence to assist the committee, and the committee actually gone through and have given a report view or targeted as his recording, because everything he did was targeted toward the delay, and that he thought the committee and any other person must have that urgent concern to see. And the last submission we've had from his 6-pager report, that he has submitted 4 video exhibits, including a Facebook live video, as evidence to assist the committee, and the committee actually gone through and have given a report in your recommendation.
If the committee is on my investigations, no, I'm afraid Ralph. And I'm busa Ralph so na no asem, because they have something called statement copy. Omo eye bibia wi. I'm busa Ralph say, wo den obeye de wa ha, den na obeye ye. And Ralph chere say, me ba beji ayaresa. We ni na course so Ralph kasem no o say, de ma eye when nyina see hospital a o cheche bu kire eye investigators no say o say nurse bi wo ho a nurse ni bi kasa fin bi kire no nurse bi na hye na bufuo na nurse ni hye na bufuo na ema ono so akoma bae a oye na adwene say obeye de oyeye no. Now almost say Ralph eba investigators na nim no or the eye video evidence a almost friend exhibit be kire almost say me wo ho no omo hospital man fam nsan ka obia na obia ni hospital or me target na me ni adwene po say patients and as nurse ni bi mabu obia. In fact, say hospital CCTV no monsaka me krampo no me ye Facebook live, and that Facebook live am ye no enie me edit ye me fa me nsankan ye me call live mo obia hu ye enti mo betumi so ahwe because me ni pay am ka say me di sa bone no the same time na me kuta phone we enti bone na me di ye no say me di ya mo be hu say phone ni kuta me na me di sa bone no enti am say Ralph Eddie ono so no evidence am friend exhibits then buy 4 videos or say oye Facebook live on that night into omoji eno so na omode ka omunhwehwe mu no ho. Now they have interviewed Ralph na I say wako rage akodi bone or the motos nkwa 25 or the mbrante 50. Ralph no so the evidence aba or the videos or na adwene nyina aba wa kire adekodi ntia de see investigators no agina no asem. Still the Rage Hospital has a management. We have still not heard from the PRO of Rage Hospital. The management has not released any statement. Whatever happened there, we are still speculating on social media, in the news outlets. People are sitting on radio and TV and speaking for Rage Hospital. One thing crying who is just a mere general secretary of an association now is playing the role of the PRO for Rage Hospital, because still investigators no Ako Hospital there is a management and the department heads. Still nobody has availed themselves to the investigators to say yeni waha yeni management, this is the PR department, we have put everything together in a file form, this is this department. None of the department head, especially the PR department head, they have not availed themselves to this investigative team. Say this is what we also did, what we also found. The PR department, the heads of PR at Rage Hospital are going to work every day. They are listening to the news. They have seen the minister release a statement. They have seen the investigators come in and go. The PR department is quiet. Okay, now let's go and listen to investigative committee, what they said about nurse.
The committee also visited the nurse in question, the rotation nurse, Miss Chocho Rejoice, who was alleged to have been physically attacked and was receiving care at the hospital. When the committee visited, indeed, we saw the patient in bed. The document available to us from the medical record, as I already said, had no indication of fracture or dislocation of the said staff. And he has received some psychological support as well. The committee was able to chance on the specialist who also attended to her at the ward at the time we visited. And at that time, the staff had been discharged to go home and come for review. The committee also visited the nurse in question, the rotation nurse, Miss Chocho Rejoice, who was alleged to have been physically attacked and was receiving care at the hospital. When the committee visited, indeed, we saw the patient in bed. The document available to us from the medical record, as I already said, had no indication of fracture or dislocation of the said staff. And he has received some psychological support as well. The committee was able to chance on the specialist who also attended to her at the ward at the time we visited. And at that time, the staff had been discharged to go home and come for review. The committee also visited the nurse in question, the rotation nurse, Miss Chocho Rejoice, who was alleged to have been physically attacked and was receiving care at the hospital. When the committee visited, indeed, we saw the patient in bed. The document available to us from the medical record, as I already said, had no indication of fracture or dislocation of the said staff. And he has received some psychological support as well. The committee was able to chance on the specialist who also attended to her at the ward at the time we visited. And at that time, the staff had been discharged to go home and come for review.
Committee no echo minister hono. Almost say edu nurse no so almost call no mu nurse no. Rotation nurse I friend Chocho Rosalind. A friend saying I forgot the name, I'm sorry. Now, investigators say omukọ no muhum nurse na omo say abono no. Now omukọ na nurse no dampem. Na a very important statement or say omukọ the medical report of nurse nina or say abono no. Which means say the nurse no went through treatment the day the incident happened. When they went to the hospital, they saw the nurse. In fact, specialists na ono nurse no e Rich Hospital won aso no. Omko e krampo no omuhu no. Omne specialist no edi nkomo. Later kwanom ka say nurse no onko fie. Now omko no medical records. Omukwaje nurse no medical records. Assembly see this day. Assembly see no nurse no say bibi say to no. You was specialist and our hospital or taking care of this nurse. Every single thing that the specialist noticed or saw, say a true nurse in Libiano, that specialist wrote it in the medical report. Now, almost say almost checking medical report in him no. There was nothing like fracture and not dislocation on any part of her body. Almost say almost checking medical records in him no. And can be a found say nurse na ya bono mani betri ehwan anase ne nsa eho apan anase bibi aye no a chese nipa bi abodi trimu po e de ade abodi mu anase omupra no omo ehwe medical report nim, and that is what they found. Enti domo hu ye ne say nurse nankasa pa de bibi ni we ye no obi ni we obo no obi ni we so ne nsa obia ni wo twe na se obia ni wo tata no obia ntia na ya se obia ayi ne nsa. Per the medical report they went to see at the medical facility. At least that committee no are not saying to us say when we went there and we observed. They didn't tell the minister when we went there and we analyzed by ourselves through our own imagination. The medical or the investigative team, the call, Omoba Minister Romanka said, from our experience and background, from what we saw and what we witnessed, we believe or we think, or this is how we came to a conclusion. Almost say they requested for the medical report of the nurse. And when they requested for the medical report, there was nothing in that report that emphatically or specifically state to say, Obi ebo nurse ne man in session anasa ne nsemu buye ana ne chi anasa ne mfe say from what they saw. So the investigative team is speaking on facts. They are not speculating. Now assembly nyina ya besi ama nyina be hu se nurse sebio ensama na nurse ne ka no obwa oni ngina so ebi kura nipa bi na hye saa nurse n'echi aka kye ne say yes adie we are rotation nurse we are nurse we are national service ebi a nipa bi na aka kye ne say yeah can some way na through that no ebi a ubenya permanent position wa. I'm just speculating, but I'm still trying to find the motive behind the nurse's action. A man to me ka say obi abono abro obi ambono. The motive na ewe chirema nurse to me the ahoma chichire ne nsa esa de chichire ne kon etna national television. So a young lady oye national service etumi ka say obi abono a eyamanewu abra medical report hospital chire say nothing of that sort happened. So it could be say ebia obi na de na tena say say you know something, there is an agenda, and when you do this you might get this. Just say this to embarrass this person or to disgrace the government, and at the end of the day you will get what you want. Ofuna ira onsabeka usikas aira onsabeka sa o pese o permanent kra ye betuma fa kwan bi so ma be permanent. Is it say bibi sa na see ya a man nurse no decide say obeka asem kesie say ato eye obi so, because so wutie nurse no na wo hwe senia na okasa na all yes specific na odwudwa nsem nim video na imebo kire mo no nurse ni nie.
Yes, so he did this to me, and then when he went out, I don't know where the guys came from. Most of the health workers saw them earlier, so they had free. I didn't see them. And then they, from my back to my chest, and then they were just.
Did they push you? Why you pushed? Or why you do it?
Yes, I was hit. I don't know if it was a fist, a tap. I can't describe them.
Well, what happened to your hands?
And Raphael, I don't know, Raph did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist. And I even dodged a couple of the fist. They hit me
All over.
but right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder. And some headaches and body pain.
All right, thank you very much.
And to add up, she was telling us he will follow us to our homes and beat us. And
That's a choice.
yes, take one life and
Oh, you take the line life. Actually said that.
yes.
We are happy to hear that. I think this is a very comfortable situation as an association. As our General Secretary rightly said, we are investigating the matter. We will continue to collaborate with the media and the authorities of the facility.
Right.
And we hope the perpetrators will be brought to book, will be arrested.
It's your casano. Now a specific or say a rough on one yes idea no. By 10 cranty radios no or see nipa de 8 4 free girl nim and a 4 free nichi. By girl ne casano or say a rough on one de say jumano. Into the account are a free 10 crying or yeah General Secretary of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association hono a totally different from girl nankasa or say assault no because 10 crying no catch say Ralph Kofa and Nkofo motos nkwa 25 na nipa 2 na teba akubia so meaning 50 men entered and 8 remu and 8 no na 4 every girl nanim and 4 every nechi and omo bo no but girl no say a Ralph nkwa and a bo no but the girl could not specify so blow na bo no so tap na bo no but at the end of the day the shoulder na hwan ninsa no wabu enti the accounts from a year 10 crying and the girl no crampono it still did not sink. Girl we obi ka chere say onka we ni retaining ana no mere full-time nurse because oye part-time national service nurse on your permanent staff. Now yen nyina be hu asem no amana be dru ha. All that we wanted was an investigation to get to the bottom of this matter. And remember, from video mabo achire wo nyina ene nsema maka achire wo nyina ebesi enra. Now still we've not heard from the management, public relations department of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. In some way nyina ekoso. The public relations department of Greater Accra Regional Hospital never released a statement. In fact, nobody there spoke a word. But shockingly today when we woke up, after the investigative team or committee took their report to the minister, a woman came out today, blazing all over the place, with all due respect, telling Ghana for say, the investigative report, any Ejumana minister, Nedima committee, no, it is a total lie. And who is she? Suddenly, somebody has appeared from the ground, germinated, telling Ghanaians to say she is the public relations officer of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. It is quite interesting. As some way see we never got any statement, a hint, a word from the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, department in charge of communication. But shockingly today, after the report was submitted to the sector minister, one honorable lady came out today to say, on PR, and that all the investigations are a committee ni yeah abind to some ye no on kwa catch Ghana for say investigations no omoboa without providing one evidence. You see, After I watched this lady, a professional nurse, a mother, a sister to somebody, an auntie, and for all you know, a Christian, I've been so worried. And from what I heard today from this woman, I'm a Sru Christopher. So Sama we know the sorry. And now on the TV. And now we're down for paranoia. Be very careful. She can sell you for a peanut. Because when I listen to this woman today, and the kind of statement or try to make it sound right, abra enya right, no. I felt so bad being a Christian. I felt so bad at a point. Me busa me say, these things, doesn't it worry them? They are person as a human being. When they sleep, don't they feel that they have offended themselves and they offended God? Now, this woman, let's listen to him. Nidin Ede, please come. Nidin Ede, Sarah Dankwa. Sarah Dankwa. In fact, she was on TV. And I know majority of the people are a nursing a community nim and now nursing. They have known this woman and most of them know her. And some of them will be quite shocked about the kind of a statement are all making about this particular issue. It says Sarah Dankwa today came on TV. Or can be to say, we have a video, meaning she is speaking as the PRO for nurses, Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Nurses for more a year region or in a PRO. And in her statement, she did not say, I have, or say, we have a video of Ralph slapping a pregnant senior nurse during the Ridge Hospital incident. The investigative committee didn't invite us to present it. We will make it available to GH1. Or see, Yenny, Regional Hospital, Aya Ridge. Your video, Aya Ralph, na obo opimni biasum. Na sa video no ho. Na committee ni ba hospital no. Committee na invite ye enti yenso ya amfa video na ma committee no. She is part of the management of Ridge. And I don't think that investigative committee will do what? That investigative committee will come to the Ridge Hospital without engaging senior officers of the hospital. But when she was on TV this morning, meaning she's speaking as the public relations officer of the regional hospital. So they have in their possession a video of Ralph beating or slapping a pregnant woman. Now, I know this woman is a mother. Meaning so your bad time. Young friend is a committee no more bodam. Young friend is a committee ni nyansa. Young friend is a committee na nyo ye. You are a mother. O your painful awawoda. Yama committee about hospital say omumbe yenhwehwemu. Emfa wo dwumadi a wodi a wo ye panyini. A younger nurse say ya assaulting out. Say bi obi obetuma ya oba anawunia. As the top management member, is it not upon you? Is it not your responsibility? Don't you see, say, it is upon you to basically prove to Ghana, say, this nurse in this hospital and that pregnant woman who could have been me needs to be protected. You could not hand over that tape to the investigative committee. But Oba TV, Ghana for say, as some they see almost 2 weeks, who was some tape be Ralph ebo opimphobia soon. The investigative committee was at the hospital. They can never enter the hospital and work without the assistance or permission of the management of the hospital. So you ask yourself, can anybody trust such a leader? So your hospital. Now say, oyi nipa say onye a leader, a management member, or whatsoever. Can any nurse in that hospital trust a mother like this? A professional nurse. Sebio nano asem. Can any patient trusts somebody our friend who said nurse or say otumi kipi eye nipa na ohwe no na pomudin and the safety a priority. Now osaka asembi or say maybe I'm about video ni nyina or say after the rape incident the nurse involved went home and could have been massaged, hence the committee's report of her shoulder not being disclosed. I say committee ni beka kire minister ne say abayiwa no ne nsa beti no enhwan a no se bi o ohun se committee no edi atro efri say asem ni siye no abayiwa no ko ofie na ebi okọ ofie no ne maame ye nkranni na onim nkranfo maamefo ebi a odi abonike etwetwen ne nsa no anase odi nsohye ne abonike twetwen ye enu nti na sebio ebi obae no omanhu se ne nse hwan. This woman is a professional nurse. So onsa a year the muscle na ewo ho no it gets bruised inside. So you don't stand crash it will swell. So onam na so onsa kro between a year the muscle inside it will be bruised. It will have some kind of pressure on it. It is the muscle around baby our joint no, it will have a muscle bruise. It is it is not going to just be like that. It is going to have some kind of idea, and yet things be who say something actually happened. Now girl no, ninsana ye no, or no neka say a force, a impact, and a man in sunny ye. And yes, be a odaso and a you. I'll bet like I say it's a mild release. Sibiana girl on the she was attacked, assaulted, and a mass sad in Sadiye. So a impact and a yin in Sano. Meaning, if there was an impact, meaning there was contact. Ain't it girl no free hospital or CO? And they say to my basse girl no every hospital echo fee and a nema amen crying, nema many day. Etwetwen ne nsa no eno nti na man ne nsa na eyiye ene ne nsa na emuobu no ni nyina ekọ into investigators na ehu. This is a professional nurse. And remember, before I play her videos, osaka asembi or say if the nurse had done a scan immediately after the rape incident, we would know if she suffered dislocation or not. Or say sanka nurse no adini si na nanka otwa scan na anka yebehu say na betri no eyi anase enyi. Into what she is trying to tell us and say nurse na ntwa scan. That means she is now discrediting the specialist who took care of the nurse the day the incident happened, her fellow colleague. She is now trying to throw her fellow colleague who is a specialist. Our hospital one girl no enya treatment onya your medical record no. She is now saying say the specialist who handled the situation or my girl no that treatment before she went home no. This PRO is trying to tell us say that specialist is a quack specialist and that she is trying to tell us say the colleague now here nurse no na onime juma all year. Because there's a report that day no a specialist actually monitored the lady before she was sent home. And if the lady's shoulder had come off, I don't think a specialist will not notice somebody whose shoulder had come off. Because when your shoulder comes off or the socket or your shoulder is released, you cannot walk. Until for her to even say, the specialist saying trying to scan, she is trying to throw her colleague at the hospital no under the bus, trying to tell us say specialist the crampono onim ne juma with Jimmy. Now let's go listen to this lady. Now you bought the tapes and listen to the argument she was making.
To them because this was an incident report.
Okay.
This was an eyewitness report. So I'm not supposed to say that was what it was.
Right.
Absolutely. So whatever they said, I gathered it. I realized that right from the triage, they even managed They managed. When you look at the video very well, immediately he entered, there were two people, one in black, one gentleman trying to use the monitor on somebody. He went straight to the one in black. It was a pregnant woman. He went to slap the face. The HB we checked on Monday was 10. So assuming...
Who went to slap the face?
Just check the video.
Which video? Because the video that we have, we don't see any slap.
Thank you very much.
So you have seen a video?
Yes. So
where there's a slap?
Because there are two cameras straight at the triage. So we don't listen to everything, no, for evidential purposes and for purposes of being very unbiased. We use what will educate us. Did the triage nurse do this? So, for example,
okay. So Sarah, no, let's understand this, right,
yes,
Joshua?
Yes.
You have a video.
Yes.
Where there was a slap.
Yes.
By the
on
same
the face. Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Where have you seen that video? Because I haven't seen that video.
And the committee
Did you
seems
represent
to have
that
seen this
video
video.
too?
I was not called into the committee.
But
the
if you
media
have
has
that
not
video-
gotten to me. Nobody has asked me
Do
for
you
a
have
video.
the video?
I can show
Can I
you.
have it?
Yes, once I leave the set, I'll show it. I'll give it to the producer.
Can I get the
No.
can
For
you get
these
him
purposes,
to- No,
I would
Sarah.
give it to your producer,
No,
Sewa,
no.
because I will not be ambushed on this show. Because at this moment,
Who's ambushing
No.
you? Me?
What,
I'm trying to help
No, what
build
I'm
your
trying to
case.
say is that we
Okay.
have had media. That's why this one I told Sewa that Sewa, for purposes of the respect you have accorded the Rich Hospital emergency for the past 5 years, I'm coming. Otherwise, I'm not the one to talk about Rich Hospital. I'm not Rich Hospital. But for that purposes, I called my head of nursing last night to tell medical director, to tell CA. So I have done the needful. That I am coming to talk here because this station has been very respectful to the ED.
Araba, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Where she came to set her cameras and saw what we were doing. She has gone through. So Araba is me and Dr. Watson's friend.
Okay. Thank you very much. Shout out to
So
Araba.
for
Let's
that
go back.
reason,
Yeah.
I will give that video to your producer.
Thank you very much. We are
So,
grateful.
Yes, please. So once somebody enters the triage,
So no, let's go back to. So there's a video where Ralph slapped.
yes, a
who?
pregnant
So
woman. she was on duty. She was SNO. SNO is a senior nursing officer.
Okay.
Do you know how long you take to be an SNO? She's a boss on her own.
Okay.
Okay, so now she's an SNO. She's on duty with her colleagues, SSN. SSN is a senior staff nurse. Okay, and this gentleman is called Ransford. I'm sorry I have to mention your name on TV, but you are the people that saw him first. And now he comes in. Chantel is attending to a patient with burns. And then you go to her. You think she doesn't have a husband and a family.
So we get it. So he slapped her.
Yes, he
And
went.
then from there, what did
and
he
people,
do?
so in the video, somebody pulls him away.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you all that.
Okay.
So it is on that account that I know I have a case. That's why I don't talk plenty.
Right.
Please
But
understand.
this pregnant woman is different from the rotation nurse.
Yes.
So at what point did the assault on the rotation
Thank
nurse
you
happen
very much.
to?
You said this is a very good question. So once Ransford sees to them because this was an incident report.
Okay.
This was an eyewitness.
Now, Munyina Amati, thank you, team. This is the slap now, Oka say. Ralph ebo a pregnant nurse assume. Because we have the two angles. Yene and the second angle now last but the chairman. And this is the second angle I showed you. We now Oka say Ralph ebo nurse niya onyemasum. This is the video she's talking about. So, Diana Mamene Kenyana say, and she made some very interesting comment. Time and not OGH1. Or say, Ralph ebo or pim for nest ni bi asum. And that they have a video. And that video, no, she was not called by the investigative committee to produce it. The question I'm asking is, does the video belong to the hospital or the video belongs to her? The said video she's talking about, Because from the way she's speaking, it looks like she's the only person who has that video. And if she's not the only person who has that video, then it's upon the hospital management to release this unique video that we have all not seen so that we can show to Ghana. Because the way she was talking, she said, the video, no. So the question we are asking this lady is, video, no, and a personal video, and I say, it's a video that belongs to the hospital that we all can get access to. Because if we all can get access to, then the minister will have to write to the management to produce that video. Because she was speaking as the PRO of Ridge Hospital. This is a nurse. On some above video, no, one angle at show. Now let me play another angle, because this is the same video she is referring to and making us look like, say, who video, no. Now my boy, any angle the show. This is the angle that was released. Sorry, this is our angle. This is the angle we released. Any. Now, this is the angle that we released. And I'm about angle now, Ridge Hospital release here. No? If you want to ask the lady, which of the videos is she talking about? And I know a lot of people are like, Kevin, why are you not being so hard on lady? I'm not being so hard on lady because the lady has surprised me. I'm worried because when you get nurses, senior nurses, sit on national television to lie, this woman has gone through the mill. When a woman like this, Ojina TV so, a catro say, how can you hand over your pregnant wife to such a woman? In this Obiko hospital say, na odo wo yire a man say onion operation. Na oye bibi na eko wrong. Na o yire ne be catch say, bibi say to my hospital, do you think Sama Amiwi obeka no kura to save your wife or your child? That is why I am hurt. I'm not supposed to be hard on her. I am pained because this is how low we have brought our profession, a nursing profession. This is where we have gotten to. Because there are hundreds of such people. And with all due respect, you're good nurses in Ghana. But when you get nurses, senior nurses, swear on their life on national television, somebody's wife, she sits in church, she's praying, she's a role model to somebody, but then she comes on national television and lies like this. This is a nurse that without asking a question. Every single person should be worried. I am hurt, I am worried. Because what is making her decide, say, all her experience and the kind of people she knows and the credibility she says she has built, why would she get to this point to sit on national television to lie? Now let's listen to this woman in another interview.
Of course, every other thing they have stated is really right. Okay. Because on the night of the incidents, when the girl felt that she had a dislocation, she went home to sleep and came to work the next morning. What if when she got home, her mother started pulling her hand, rubbing things, and in crime reports, they have spots the whole incident. So by the grace of God, this dislocation, you didn't say it's fracture. Dislocation is that it has moved from the socket.
The joint. Yeah.
What if he went to, he's also a gun girl. You know the guns are no things on the floor. So what if he went to his knee mename and they pull it and then it's now back to the socket? So there's
Madam
evidence has been evidence.
Madam Dankwa.
If she says that, if the next day, if the doctor who saw said there was no dislocation,
yes,
it could be because the lady did not stay in the hospital 24 hours, barricaded by BNI, so she could have tampered with evidence.
But that
Now, she goes on Star FM. This woman is a professional nurse. I feel small can say, say investigators, no, as someone who's a girl, no, ne better ni ye dia. And you better about say, night na girl in free hospital. Remember, there was a medical report that a specialist took care of this lady. How can a woman who works in a hospital or be free hospital or akofia treatment? This is a nurse who has everything at her disposal in a hospital to get all the necessary help. Nurse in free hospital hono wanji any medical help. But in the report, she received that help. But on an argument to say, what if this is a medical practitioner? What if na se oko fie no ena ne maame ko to train nsa ne ma no every ne nsa ne yiye no ebia ono kwa enkran ni munim nkranfo de ebia ne maame mo e de hye ma no nti ebia oba the next day no specialist na ohwe ne ehu se bibia ye no ho nti won sa yi nne na o china de ba hospital a odwen say medical professional na sa won san kro betime pagya. And this is a nurse. Crying out loud. This is a nurse. Obi yiri ebewu a yese kwa cesarean, ye kwa dien. This is a person who handles life. And that is where my problem is the fear. This woman at the end of the day, me mama betuma akoshe ni nsem, me nua ba betuma akoshe ni nsem, wo yiri betuma akoshe ni nsem. And if a nurse cannot speak truth, a nurse is speculative. She is being speculative in every single thing that she's saying. What if? What if? And oko fie no. Na me say you ha. Na me ko fie kura. Na me mama de sha. You want to tell me when I come work the next day, that hand is going to be effective like the other one? And she goes around her. I'm a senior nurse. In Kofo Bume. Your friend me madam. Me the PRO of a regional hospital. Yabetam oba diashen in same say yes so antennas. You are our hope. This is where it gets dangerous. Where you Christoni or ma. And she wouldn't want a nurse to lie about neba. So mami we de neba question nurse in binsa or expect to say the nurse will be 100% truthful and it is part of the job. When I was watching it this morning, I was hurt because there's some nurses who are looking up to this woman. Some people even went into this nursing profession because of this woman. Mami wait dear. Now look at what you are doing. Why? Is this into somebody from outside? A foreign nurse is watching you. They'll be asking, are you a professional nurse? That you can tell us that somebody had a dislocation and went home and a nurse left the hospital without getting that thing resolved. The nurse had to hold her hand this way with a dislocated shoulder, hold it like this in her palm with something tied to her neck, took it home to her mom who is ignorant about taking care of patients, for her mom to put it back, for her to come back to hospital tomorrow to feel okay. And please, Jesus Christ. This is dangerous, guys. This is terrible. Yeah. And when I was saying, Mausro said, nurse ni bi, me can say all nurses. Nurse ni betume chatro ato yere so. O yiri wu, and so se bibia nye no. This woman can look in the eye of a patient and know, say, asawa, and I say, a pasoshe patient, ye mamu, because say, no, there is nothing. Papa, bibia no yiridium fanoko. And this woman will convince you to believe, say, Obana otium se bibi, no, there's nothing wrong. See the way she's defending something you cannot defend. See the brain behind this. What will motivate or make this woman sit on national radio to embarrass nurses this way?
And that's what I'm saying, that when an incident happened, go and ask the people that did the incident report.
Okay, so what happened?
So
why was she in an
Matthew,
arm's
one of the male nurses, who was on duty that day, saw her without the arm's length on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And she said, Chocho, and he's a fancy guy. But Chocho, Mr. Fadin is fashion sling. Now on your I'm trying to mimic
essentially
what she said.
just put your arm in the arm sling to
and the
ensure
lady
that
was like, I'm fine. And then Matthew was like, raise your hands and let me see. Do you understand emergency terms? Raise your hands and let me see. And the girl said, hey, put it inside the sling. Let us go and see the orthopedic people. Let them clear you before you start saying you are fine. So Chocho didn't know even when she went to the police station. I don't even think she wrote the first time Auntie Betta told her to go. I don't think she even wrote that in
the
there.
dislocation.
So it was Matthew, the night, the male nurse, who insisted that she don't tamper with this hand.
And that was the same day that the interview came on.
That is when I did the incident report.
Okay.
So remember that the incident happened on 17th.
Okay.
And I did the incident report on 18th.
The day after.
Yes.
Did she tell you she had a
12
dislocation?
hours after the incident, I was in there doing my report.
Did she tell you that she had a dislocation?
So she told me that she feels, Auntie Sarah, I feel I have a dislocation, but I don't know. Now I'm confused. And now let me give you eyewitness statements.
Okay.
Auntie Sarah, me sano crying ya me yase. Me 800 cedis na me phone na irano. Into the end can no wasem. That is why I silenced there. That your health first. And there were people in the room who will confirm that I silenced her to start talking about her health. That girl did not even was concerned about anything about that happened to her body.
Arab, I'll give you a moment. One.
So the dislocated arm healed in 24 hours. Girl Ninsana or see or catch her or see. I feel like I have a dislocated arm. But Madam Sarah, what do you Missy Canada me phone na irano crani hear me? From Madam Sarah account or the Mayano, when the incident even happened, she wasn't there. She came back the next day to do an incident report. Meaning, the day the incident happened, why Nana the Juma said also a report the night before they close a year office. From what she is telling us, the day the incident happened, somebody did not do their job. So she had to come from home to come and write the report of what happened when she wasn't there. And she was telling us the aftermath of what happened. And that, oh, girl no say, I feel like I have a dislocated shoulder. But I don't cry, me yasa me phone na irano me 800 Ghana na irano. And to girl no that night no okofie without her money and her phone. And she went home with a dislocated shoulder. Nobody took care of her, but there was a report the investigators read to come to that conclusion that when she was leaving the hospital, a specialist had taken care of her. Let me say, the specialist did not see the dislocated shoulder. Into the sana yi anajono, okute muano di kodru fie. Ena ne maame mo ede sheye. The next day, girl ne baye no, the dislocated shoulder had healed. Jesus Christ. You see, there are good nurses in Ghana, and there are terrible liars calling themselves in Ghana, nurses in Ghana. And this woman, this lady, she's an embodiment of lies. This woman is a liar. I am ashamed. I am very much ashamed that you call this woman a nurse in Ghana. She's a nurse. I am ashamed. I feel pity for Ghana phobia. And there are the likes in the system. They deliberately lie. A nurse. You want to tell me that all these things happen the next 24 hours, the dislocated shoulder disappeared. No pain, nothing. You came from home to come and write an incident report. And after you wrote the incident report and the investigative team came, you could not avail yourself to give them the evidence you have. You have the authority to write incident report where you were not there, and you did not have the power to give that report and the evidence you have to the investigative committee. So what is your end game? The end game, you say, they want to embarrass the minister. Sa condition of service na no mubusana abane ni omotena sekachom se mo pese mubu nurse for no. There are some of them are nyansenim no eno na ye omo ya. And most importantly, they know said the minister is not a health professional. Omunim se minister no onye doctor. And they don't want to agree. They don't want to admit that somebody who is not a doctor is the head of their sector. They have cooked this allegation and jandam just to embarrass the minister. That is all. All that you are hearing from this woman, that is the end game.
Abusia feeling free now, so share our comment section when you move. Mesro. So one subscribe here, click the subscribe button, so I'm going to click the bell notification icon. Medin Ediko Jumens, Macrow. My menfa asida Emma A1 Detergent Company Limited. Omo and also my saying Emma me de sa news and I say update eba besumo A1 semen kancho say ope alata semina mixture ope liquid soap ope bar soap a odi besi niama after wash ade bia eye detergent no okopie omo amaso ye hono ma ombenye bi ama omo ni ama papa quality omo semina ni bi na mdi dware ene ama me skin no atoso saa no opo ma kira kwan a ebia open dodo atu akwa kugu shop akwa akoton sisi a Ivory Coast nyina ye de bi call me pa charge number we na frɛ 0545 074743 and as 0244 877-956. Ohwe ma kira kwan a oboase chechere eho na obehu omo A1 Detergent Company Limited or say abatan ati asem the A1 product papa eso na traffic foods esemen kan kira say wo UK wo US wo Canada na say wo pay local food Ghana ye nduane a ye wo ha no bi ti say waache tuezafi ene de keka ho de a ene ebomodin na kopie mu ewo omaso ye okopie ho no ma omoye order omoye delivery service dia wo pe bia no omo de bebrew enti bomodi na fa number na da screen ase no na place you order sisi a traffic foods or si aduane papa fie.